There's a new boss in the Ceroli crisis, Dekar, who is very difficult to beat if you don't know what you're doing. So stick around in this video for the complete guide on how to take down the new Ceroli boss. Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and in this video, sponsored by the makers of Rise of Kingdoms, I'm going to teach you how to take down Dekar, who is actually a difficult boss to beat if you don't know what you're doing. Now, if you have played lots of World of Warcraft in the past, and you have fought Thaddeus, which is a polarity-based boss, then you actually will have a very easy time with this. You'll know everything you need to know. And for those of you for whom that sounded like complete gobbledygook, don't worry, I'm going to completely explain how you take him down. Now, I am in Kingdom 2, which is where he's first available. Other kingdoms already have access to him as well, depending on when Ceroli lands in your kingdom. And there are a number of abilities that this boss has that I want to review. Now, I'm going to do two things here. First, I'm going to very briefly review the abilities so you know what you're about to see. Then I'm going to show you the boss fight that I did, because it takes a very long time to find a group for whatever reason in my Kingdom 2 account. So let me just talk about these abilities. And when I said there's a polarity mechanic, what that means is that at some point in the fight, everybody is going to have little markers up above their head. You try to stand near the people who have the same marker as you. If you stand near somebody who has a different marker than you, you're going to die. And basically that's 90% of the fight, okay? Stand near the people who have the same marker as you and you're good to go. So there is the first ability. Let's start from the top. Serpent's Kiss. Actually, the animation is really cool. You'll see it's just single target damage. The next ability randomly inflicts either lightning or fire. You're either going to be lightning, in which case you stand near the blue lightning people, or you're going to be fire, and you stand near the red fire people. This is going to seem very simple, but when you run a pickup group, everybody is going to get this wrong, and you're all going to get wrecked forever. Now, this skill may be triggered at most once every 80 seconds, and troops tagged with the same mark gain increased attack for 5 seconds in each other's vicinity. And this buff can stack up to 1 times, but can be triggered once every 6 seconds. One stack seems weird. Why mention stacking? Why not just say it can be triggered once every 6 seconds? But, okay, next ability. Troops tagged with different marks will suffer an explosive shockwave. You'll see this. What happens is that it becomes very hard to move around the map, because if you, with your lightning polarity, go near somebody with a fire polarity, you both explode, and that very much sucks. It's a lot of damage factor. Every 6 seconds. It's very, very, very frequent. Nature's Course makes it so that randomly, sometimes your marker will change. So if you thought you were safe hanging out with all your lightning people, and then suddenly you become a fire person, you're blowing everybody up. You need to see that. You need to pay attention. This fight is not for people who are asleep at the wheel. The next ability makes it so that he summons 2 sentries. And after an expanding warning zone is indicated, the zone will explode after either all sentries have been slain or upon reaching the maximum size, dealing damage to all troops. So there is going to be a radius. You'll see this in the video. And I couldn't figure out what was happening. I just stood out of the radius. That didn't do anything at all. You're going to see a radius flashing around Dekar. And after a certain amount of time, it's going to get bigger. And then it's going to get bigger. And then it's going to get bigger. And the longer you wait to take down these sentries, the bigger that radius is ultimately going to be allowed to become. More of you are at risk of getting hit by that AoE until ultimately it just covers the whole zone. So if you don't kill the sentries, everybody blows up. How's that for an easy answer? Kill the sentries, okay? So there's 2 mechanics you needed to know here so far. Stand near the people who have the same polarity as you, and blow up the sentries. Kill the sentries, or you all die. Okay. In addition, this boss has a lot of stuff. There's going to be Cursed Earth. There are certain areas of the map that are basically going to blow up, and it relocates a couple times. So you'll see it's going to be like a checkerboard. It blows up here. It blows up there. It blows up here. You just got to dodge the explosions. And Eldritch Gaze deals different types of delayed area damage to a fixed target location. You'll see this as well. You'll see the AoE damage. And it wrecks you if you get hit by it. Oh, man. This one is actually maybe worth talking about. So the way Eldritch Gaze kind of works is that it's almost like a flamethrower, okay, coming out of the boss. So if the boss is in the center, you're going to see a flamethrower coming out of the top and a flamethrower coming out of the bottom, and it's going to kind of spin around. So it's going to like flamethrower here, and then it's going to slightly twist, and then it's going to slightly twist, and I can't move my arms like that, but you'll get the hang of it. So let me jump now to the video showcasing all these abilities, which, to recap everybody, you need to stand near the people with the same polarity as you. You need to kill the sentries. You need to get out of the AoE ground effects, and you need to look out for the flamethrower, which spins around in a circle. Let me show you. Okay, here we go. We're in on the boss. Now, this is nightmare difficulty. Keep that in mind for whatever it's worth. We had 2 healers, and I had to go DPS, which is bad news. There's the polarity, everybody. Fire needs to stand near fire. I already exploded once because I started near somebody else. I feel like we should establish a convention, like lightning stays to the left and fire stays to the right. That way everybody just knows what to do when they're pugging. And you can see it's very problematic that the lightning people have not moved next to each other, because you're going to see this guy tries to take out the sentry, but then because the lightning guy is standing there, he's going to blow him up if he tries to go take out the sentry. So he feels like he can't deal with the sentry. And the other thing is that when you stand near your people, you get a damage boost. Now, here is that expanding radius. Because we didn't take out the sentries, you can see the radius is getting bigger. And it's like, hey, if you still haven't killed the sentries, here's how big the radius is going to be. You still haven't killed the sentries. Here's how big the radius is going to be. So you have to kill the sentries, or everybody anywhere on the map blows up like that. And I'm dead. Pretty much everybody's just about dead at this point because we didn't kill the sentries. Now, we didn't really understand what was happening. And you can see lightning went right, and lightning should, now that we have this new convention, lightning should always go left because they both start with L. Okay, and fire goes right, and that just makes it a lot easier for everybody, right? So if lightning had gone, wait, now I'm confused. The polarity swapped. Aha! No wonder I was confused. So there was a polarity swap between those 2 players. So now the lightning's standing on top of each other, and here is the flamethrower effect I was talking about. This is a confusing looking effect. The circle is showing you the direction the flamethrower is going to go. It starts going one way, and now it's going clockwise. It told you it would switch around clockwise. Well, I guess like that. Well, whatever. My hands are reversed from the camera. So, yeah, the flamethrower effect is pretty nasty, but once you see how it works, you kind of get it. But the first time you see that effect on your screen, you're like, what in the actual F am I looking at? How am I supposed to handle this? Now comes the final ability that you haven't seen yet, and that is the entire ground is basically going to blow up. Also, polarity swap. Those 2 need to move, which they do. There you go. Now, by the way, you see this center area? If your little circle template touches their center area, that's when you're too close to each other. Here is the ground explosion. Look at this crap, man. It's crazy. This is the part where I was talking about it being like a chessboard or a checkers board, where different parts of the map are going to explode. If you haven't figured out a system for like having your lightning on the left and your fire on the right, you're going to blow each other up trying to dodge the ground effects. I mean, this part of the battle is specifically designed to make people get too close to each other and blow each other up, which you can see is about to happen. There it is. Boom. Oh, man. This fight is going to absolutely obliterate. I mean, obliterate pickup groups for quite some time. You can see somebody commenting, WTF, this is hard. And the funny thing is that our T5 tank with the Herald CJ is actually going to be strong enough to carry this thing to the finish line, which is pretty funny. Here is that flamethrower effect I was talking about earlier. It's showing you that it's going to go clockwise, and it's showing you sort of where it's going to start. Yep, there it goes. And it's going to swing its way around. And yikes. There goes the Xeno healer. GG. And this is the part where the tank just solo wins the fight, because that is a lot of counterattack on Herald, but also CJ does a lot of damage when the target gets low, and also it's a teched up T5 player who's probably got some pretty decent gear. So now they're going to just solo the boss, which is pretty funny. They use that tank ability that like gives them, what is it, like 50% of their health back. Here you can see more sentries have spawned. There probably needs to be a system also. I guess left goes to the top and right goes to the bottom. So left goes, or I guess lightning goes to the left and up, okay? And fire goes to the right and down. Maybe that system will work. So if they're in those two positions, the lightning will go up and deal with the one up top, and the fire would deal with the one down below. Yeah, that's how... Now we've established the convention. Did everybody catch that? We just established the convention for this boss. Lightning is always left and top. Fire is always right and bottom. GG easy. There's the AoE, because they didn't kill the sentries, because they're just taking out the boss here. And they are going to win. And it's worth noting that there is an enrage mechanic. Enrage means that the boss does tons of damage. They go Super Saiyan if you just let the fight run too long. But this T5 tank, man, he's just taking this sucker out. Oh my gosh. It's the new Herald CJ meta. Not really. Let me jump back in game. Well, I mean, actually, let me just show you the finish here. The victory. They got there. We got there, all right? Now I'll jump back in game. Now, it is worth mentioning that there is still only 5 bosses here in total, so I suspect we'll see a little bit of a rotation of the bosses in the Ceroli Crisis now. I did mention, when they put this map in game, that I thought the only reason they would do something like this is if they were going to do more stuff with Ceroli Crisis, and here we are, getting a new Ceroli Crisis boss. It feels like maybe once every 6 months to year, we might get a new Ceroli Crisis boss. That would be my guess. They've just sort of created a world in which they can drop a new boss in every 6 months to a year. The only thing I will say that would be really nice is if we could get a look, in my opinion, at Ian's Ballads and get some new stuff in there. I think that would be pretty chill. We've only got one map. I actually really like the Ian's Ballads concept. I think if they doubled down on this idea, it could be cool. Although, I will say, a part of what this is designed to do is bring you kind of like a dungeon crawling experience. But most of us just skip the dungeon crawling part and go right to the bosses, which is basically what Ceroli is. So, I don't know. There's a part of me that actually likes what's going on in this event. There's a part of me that feels like, well, maybe what I like is I'm skipping right to the bosses. And if I like skipping right to the bosses, isn't that what Ceroli is anyways? So, I feel like there's probably something cool to be done with this game mode. But at the end of the day, is it all that much different from Ceroli when you get down to it? Not really. There's trash that you skip versus just going right to the bosses. No wonder they haven't done anything with Ian's Ballads. If you enjoyed this video or have any other tips or tricks on how to beat the new Ceroli boss, which, again, if you've raided in World of Warcraft and you've beaten Thaddeus, you'll know exactly what you need to do here. Then throw a like on here if you found it helpful. Consider subscribing as I struggle to find Ceroli. There it is. The new boss, Dekar. I think he's kind of fun. I think he's going to really wreck PUGs for quite some time. But hopefully the convention of lightning to the left, fire to the right will solve a lot of problems. And until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies.